Welcome to this episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. I'm your host, founder of Voices for Voices, Justin Allen Hayes. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode, whether you've been with us from the beginning and have seen or listened to our now over 300 episodes, both here in the TV studio and remotely. And we just can't thank you enough for tuning in. I wanted to let you know that for those of you who don't want to download an app like Spotify or iHeart, you can find all of our episodes at voicesforvoices.org/podcast. And so the for in that URL is spelled out FOR. So that's voicesforvoices.org/podcast. Wherever you are, if you're on the road, you're at home, you're on vacation, you're able to listen to those shows. And the most up-to-date drop of our show is right there at the top, so you don't need to scroll down to locate the newest one. But we do recommend. We have a lot of great episodes. I'm just going to read through a few of them just to give you a flavor. If this is your first time, or even if this isn't your first time watching or listening to the show, just to give you an idea. I'm just going to read through. We are obviously over 300 episodes, which were 5 months early from the goal that I had to reach combined in-studio here and out-of-studio episodes by the end of calendar year 2025. So that's a great accomplishment, and we're just grateful for that opportunity to have your interests to watch or listen. So a couple of the episodes, 285, What Makes a Fantasy Epic Worth Reading, 286, Beyond the Spotlight, Why Even Rock Stars Struggle, The Healing Journey from Self-Doubt to Global Impact, that's episode 287. And then the last one I'll reference here is 288, Everyday Heroes Who Deserve More Than a Parade. And so we cover a variety of topics, and with the main pillar being mental health and trauma and recovery, and just talking through experiences that everything we really do ties back to our health, our physical health, our mental health, and that's what we aim to provide information when we see and hear about issues and topics that are what we think in good faith are public safety concerns, public health concerns. We do cover those as well. Not every show does that, but that's something that we feel, especially with our organization name, Voices for Voices, we do give the platform and episodes to individuals who wish to tell their story, share their experiences, in the hope of helping at least one person about their story and their experiences. So we're again grateful to have you with us, and we have crossed that milestone of episode 300, and a few future episodes will be detailing a little bit of what we announced in episode 300, but we recommend that you go back to episode 300, watch, listen to that particular show because it's monumental for us as an organization. We've been made aware that a lot of podcasts a lot of them don't make it to episode 250 or 300, and so we're just again grateful to have the opportunity to even be at this point in this beautiful studio, to be able to come to you on TV, streaming, on YouTube, Rumble, all the audio platforms. And then, like I mentioned, you don't need an app. You can go to voicesforvoices.org/podcast, and you can find every single episode that we have done, and including the most recent episodes that we have dropped. We drop episodes at various times. One of the mainstays is our great opportunity here to have our shows aired on Hudson Community Television. And so those first air on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And when we make our social media announcements, we're sure to share that link because you don't just have to live in this Northeast Ohio, Western Reserve, Hudson Community Television area, that you're able to go to their website, you're able to go to their Facebook page and find those episodes at that time. So if you want the latest and greatest on video, TV, every Wednesday, 4 p.m., Hudson Community Television, whether you live here in the area, as I mentioned, or if you don't, you're still able to see that. And so we're, again, grateful for this opportunity to even be here, because it's without the cliche, it's really is a blessing to have the opportunity to do this. Not a lot of people have the opportunity, and we're we don't take it for granted, and we don't take your time for granted. We don't want to waste anybody's time. So as we kind of get started here, for those of you who are a little unfamiliar with me, the background, you can check out my mental health story journey in this pamphlet book, The House of You, Prescription for Living. And that's where I detail kind of the early days of growing up and remembrance of that, to coming out of, say, the valley of just being at the lowest mentally and really physically too. So I was very weak in both of those areas. You can get and find this resource and have an inspiration of you're not alone. It's not just a saying to get more clicks and get people to view the content. It's truly, as somebody who has been in that position of, thinking to myself, nobody's going through the same things I'm going through, and woe is me. And we all have our ups and our downs. But in this resource, and then throughout our shows, we sprinkle in more information and more parts of my mental health journey. So that's really where Voices for Voices came from, is when I realized that I had the ability to share my voice, whether it's the spoken word or, in this case, writing. It was a opportunity that after a lot of thought went into that, and made a decision that that was the best thing that I could do, that it helped me sharing and writing. So that whole process of getting information kind of out of my head a little bit and into a book form was really important, and it also validates what we're doing here at Voices for Voices. That a lot of organizations, I won't say a lot, I don't want to assume, but some organizations, the individuals at the top running them might have a tie to that organization, but they may not have founded it, started it, and I get it. That there's just all kinds of organizations, but I feel that with me having lived and still living the mental health journey, that there's not one day that I can point to and say, well, I'm magically healed, and sharing that information with you, the goal is to let you know again that you're not alone, that you have life worth living. And one of the big areas for us as well as is dreaming, and feel like if there's something that you've always wanted to do, go after that. Try the different steps you need to take to get there. Don't let somebody, the naysayers, come in and tell you that you can't. And I know this firsthand and recently, where people will come from all different angles, and they'll give their opinions, and we're entitled to our opinions and sharing, and so it becomes well, I think you should do this, or I think you should do that, and you shouldn't do this, and you shouldn't do that. And at the end of the day, a lot of those individuals, I don't say, like, they kind of ghost us and ghost people, where they just disappear. And you're like, wait a minute, you said you supported, and that you want to be a part of this, and whatever capacity that may be, and then people disappear. I think of it as I was driving to the studio today, and on many days where, right, you're either driving or you're a passenger in a vehicle, and somebody's right behind you, and it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm going the speed limit, and somebody's just like right behind me. And so we check our rear view mirror, our side view mirrors, and we just see a particular vehicle that is just very close to us. And so then it's like, well, do we speed up, or do we just keep going the same the speed limit? And so the very moment, or one of the very moments, where we're driving, we look up and look to the side view and rear view mirrors, and all of a sudden that car's gone. They turned off on a street. And I think of it like that, where there's a lot of people that they want to get close to an individual, an organization, for whatever reason that is. And a lot of people have the best interest when they do step forward and share information, and share recommendations, and try to give some of that guidance and that mentorship. And there's a lot of great mentors, but there are those that I call like the ghosts, where they're here one minute, they're gone another. Like driving that car or being a passenger, person's right behind you. They literally can't get much closer without hitting their bumper, and so for a period of time, it's just you're focusing on how fast we're going, or how do we slow down, do we speed up, there's when growing up, there's the brake check, where you're driving and then not that you slam on the brakes, but you hit the brake pedal, and then the brake lights in the back of the vehicle will illuminate, and then that in theory, would back that vehicle up a little bit. And so that's where I think of the ghosts, like, okay, they're here and then all of a sudden they're gone. And it's a big, I guess it's a big problem, because it takes, not talking about the car situation, but in life, where there's people that are healthy for us, they're on our side, they support us, they cheer us on. And that doesn't mean that they have to provide support by donating or anything. Just the mere fact of, hey, I was at such and such event, and this topic came up, and I mentioned your show or your organization, or I went and watched one of your episodes on Hudson Community Television, or I listened on the voicesforvoices.org /podcast, went and listened to a few episodes, and then maybe I went to my social media and saw a social media post about particular episodes, and maybe I went and I liked that particular post, or maybe I went to YouTube and I subscribed, or maybe you're able to donate, and so maybe you went to Venmo, Voices for Voices, or maybe you went to voicesforvoices.org, and you decide, like, wow, like this is something that's interesting. There's topics all over the board, and it's on design to be like that. We don't want to just be on one particular pillar 100% of the time, because we know that mental health, while that is the biggest pillar for us, that we don't have to say the words mental health when we're talking about a situation where we were traumatized, where one of the examples I've said recently is, we're all alive here on Earth for a reason. And I look back and one of the events that happened when I was growing up and younger and able to drive, and that I totaled my car. I fell asleep when I was driving, and somehow I survived that. The car didn't, but I survived that. And so I start to think of how many of those types of situations that I've been in, near death or very dangerous situations that I've been in and been through, and here I am today, that you're viewing, you're listening, you're just have an interest in the organization, and we thank you again, and want to just show our gratitude that it's because of you, that your viewers, our listeners, that we're able to do this. And that's really if nobody was watching or listening, if we weren't, what I feel like, making a difference, like, for instance, I like to reference this a lot because it's very important. It covers a broad swath of the United States, and the Take It Down Act, that's now the Take It Down law. Elliston Berry, her mother, Miss Anna, her dad, Mr. Mark McAdams, where this situation where these deep fakes come out, take Instagram photos and turn them into nude photos and post them, and not have a way to have those, number one, taken down. Just the average individual that doesn't have a ton of money to influence a platform, to have them take those down, like somebody with, say, a little bit more money, but I believe Taylor Swift has a lot of money, and so if those actions happen to her, those photos will be taken down almost immediately. And so with the Take It Down Act, that's now the Take It Down law, through Senator Ted Cruz in Texas, and President Trump signed that into law just might have been a month or so ago. Time just flies. So, and so that turned into, and now is a federal law that not only holds big tech accountable, where they do have to take those down within, I believe, 48 hours, and the individual and or individuals and or organizations that did those particular actions, they can be held accountable criminally, and it's a felony. It's not a misdemeanor to have that occur. And so that's one of the episodes that we have, that you can check that out yourself. You can see actually the very pen the President Donald J. Trump signed the Take It Down Act into the Take It Down law. And again, whether we agree, whatever, wherever we are politically, doesn't matter. It's a fact that we're in that instance, and what we're trying to do is to appeal to everybody in one way or another. And so if there was a Democrat president, a Republican, independent, it doesn't matter. It's about helping stop some activity that is not right, and so that's huge, and just to even have the ability to talk with Elliston and her mom and her dad kind of off camera, it's just an incredible way of a lot of individuals from all walks of life coming together and supporting a cause, and we would call that a public safety, public health concern, that this could happen to anyone. Anybody could become a victim of this, because we know how important our phones are and our social media profiles and our posts. So a lot of us have pictures, with family, with friends, on vacation, at home, at a concert, wherever, and those photos could be taken out of context by somebody, and that's what we're really what we really try to want to share, that no matter where you're at on any of the spectrums, that we can all, I think, agree that it's bad to take a perfectly innocent picture and turn that into something that's not. And so that has been one of the big things that we say hang our hat on as an organization, because it has implications nationally in the United States. And while Elliston and her family live in Texas, I live in Ohio. I live in Northeast Ohio, and that could happen to me. And so that's how we talk about these issues that we're like, oh, well, that's, she's in Texas, and then we start this whole debate kind of, and where we're like, well, that doesn't really affect me, and that, well, it can, because it's a universal thing of our phones, that it can happen to anybody. It can happen to anybody. As we know, the days of, well, that only happens somewhere else, it doesn't happen where I live, where you live, those days unfortunately are gone. That a lot of great things can happen where we're from and where we live, and a lot of not so great things can happen where we live. That it's not something that we can put in a particular area and just say, oh, it's only there that particular actions occur. When we're talking about platforms like Facebook, like Instagram, like TikTok. And we as an organization and personally use a lot of those in some form of combination. We also realize that we could become victim of that. So as an organization where we share information, maybe you agree, maybe you don't agree, maybe as our aiming is to just share information and stories and different milestones and events, and the hope to help. And if you haven't heard me say it, I'll say it. My big goal is to help 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. So I can't, our organization can't just focus solely on one specific area, but we can focus on how that one area and others impact all of our lives on a daily basis. And so whether it's Elliston talking about her experience with the Take It Down Act, now the Take It Down law, whether it's Ramona Robinson, a past news anchor here in Northeast Ohio, who shattered the ceiling, one of the, if not the first black female news anchors to, again, anchor primetime news in the area. So regardless of who you are, where you're at, if you're here in the United States, here in Northeast Ohio, we are grateful for you to be here, watching and listening. Again, we have over 300 episodes. Check out some of those other ones, and you'll probably be surprised with the content and the guests and the topics that we talk about and share about. Or if you are somewhere outside of Northeast Ohio in the United States, or if you are in one of the almost 80 countries that have at least watched one episode or listened to one episode, our show, our podcast is meant for everybody. While there's topics that are hard to talk about that may be more suitable for older audiences, we strive to talk and share about experiences that are real, that they're real things that have happened to somebody, and we want to help others potentially to not have to go through something that happened to one of our guests in a negative way, or just for informational purposes of maybe you just enjoy passing the time at the gym or on the road or at home, on the beach, wherever. You can find Voices for Voices TV show and podcast anywhere, and I covered that earlier here in this show. But this show specifically is a lot of just sharing of information, some updates, some the answers of you can watch or you can listen to our show and on our website. That you don't have to have an app to do that. We want to share that because that's come up a lot, and we just wanted to share that with you. So thank you again for joining us on this episode of the Voices for Voices podcast. Have a great day.